Hi, this is Tim of the 1916 Company. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me. I am still Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com. It is still my email address. It is still in the box below. Email me at tmosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details. The watch you see here is now discontinued, and it was launched in 2015. And would you believe that Tudor had a manufacture movement, complicated, integrated bracelet steel sports watch 8 years ago? This watch was ahead of its time, maybe too far ahead. But today, you can partake of one of the best recent Tudor timepieces and one of the most original, because 40 millimeters in stainless steel, this Tudor North Flag is available now. 13.3 millimeters thick, you can see the ceramic halo of the bezel, and from lug tip to lug tip, 50.3 millimeters with a fully integrated bracelet, so the lug spacing is proprietary, but Tudor does make a factory strap for this watch. Now on my wrist, which is 16 centimeters in circumference, you can see that the downward angle of the lugs mitigates the fit problems. So it really does wear quite nicely, and I can recommend this watch for a wrist as small as 14 centimeters in circumference. You can also see, because there's no solid end link to the bracelet, you can pull the bracelet square from the case band. So you can see how that is 90 degrees right there. There's no fight or flare or rigidity here, so this makes for a watch that fits really nicely on a smaller wrist. And it is thin enough that it'll slide under a cuff, and you can see down the barrel in particular, I've got plenty of clearance. The bracelet is the way to get this watch. As you can see, the bracelet features a taper down from the lugs, satination. This is a satin finished watch for a low glare aesthetic. You can see removable links are fixed by screws, and that we do have a intermediate size link on one side in case you're in between sizes, but we also have 3 pairs of divots drilled inside the clasp, so using your strap tool you can change the anchoring point of the bracelet to fine-tune the fit. We have a clasp with a single fold deployment. You can see the use of ceramic spring-loaded pin snaps to maintain the tight tolerances of this over time. As the clamshell lock cannot wear down the pin snap, the snappiness of the action will remain tight and factory spec for decades to come. You can also see inside we have the ceramic pin snaps, so as the clasp body lowers, it too is held in place by pin snaps that cannot be worn down. Take a quick look. You can see that the Tudor Shield logo is evident when the clamshell is locked. The polishing on the clasp is, for the most part, the only polishing you're going to find on this watch, as there's simply not a lot of polished highlights. A thin lip of polish on the outer bezel being the one exception. The case band is sheer with blended lugs, so this is a very integrated bracelet look, but it's also a tonneau-shaped watch. It's not really round, to be perfectly frank. We have a matte finished media blasted crown that's actually conically profiled. It is a screw down. The watch is 100 meters water resistant. This little halo outboard of the bezel, that is made of black ceramic, so it's highly scratch resistant. Then we have satination on the top with a flat sapphire that imparts a little bit of a vintage look. The dial is matte black and matte white for glare resistance. We have white, black, and yellow, and so it's an easy day glow bright watch with the white and the yellow against the black base. There's a little Reiho outboard that acts as a unifier of the bezel and the dial base. We have a vintage inspired broad arrow hour hand. We'll do a lume shot right here real quick so you can see the watch in the dark. There's no shortage of lume, including the seconds hand, so you know even in the dark that the watch is running. Now I mentioned that this is a complicated watch, and it is. It has a power reserve indicator over at 9 o'clock. Now, it is an automatic winder, but you can wind it manually if you want to see the reserve de marche move, and it's a 70-hour power reserve. You can see I have a hacking seconds function. I also have a quick set mechanism for the date. And if you look at the indices and the numerals, you can see in upscale fashion, they haven't simply been printed onto the dial. They are 3-dimensional white applique that are luminescent. That's a really cool look. This was the beginning of display casebacks and, for that matter, manufacture movements on Tudor watches. So you're looking at the MT5612. Now, Tudor movements, which are created by its Kinesi branch, those are not necessarily the most photogenic, but a lot of folks do like to see the operation of the rotor, the escapement, the balance, and the hairspring, and you can see that. It's an automatic winder with a 70-hour power reserve, a 4 Hz beat rate, shock resistant with a full balance bridge and a free sprung balance, and an anti-magnetic silicone hairspring. It is 5 position adjusted as a COSC Swiss chronometer, a Swiss-made movement that gives you everything you could desire. And the timepiece being essentially as rugged, durable, and accurate as a Rolex. The main difference between this kind of a caliber and a Rolex is that these Tudor movements tend to be a little bit thicker, but thicker generally means more durable, so it's a double-edged sword. Yes, a thicker movement, but the benefit being it's just that much tougher. The timepiece is very unusual, as it is not a straight-up retro play. Even if you can see elements of vintage Tudor Rangers in the design, the North Flag stands on its own. It does not bask in reflected glory. And you know, if you're familiar with my channel, that I'm huge fans of originals and attempts to do things new with modern watches, so I love the North Flag. Reach out to Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details of this lovely 28 jewel chronometer.